There.
Let's see whether we are live. That's my favorite first first step when we are starting this secret. Yeah, we are live. So this is super secret again. We didn't tell
Mm-hmm.
anyone, even the friends, that we will record this session, but we actually do. And this is our second office hours. So
So
if
what
you
does it mean office hours?
sorry,
It's what does it mean office?
I don't know. It's just name of the session or the stream. We had the first one in month ago. So this is the second one to share some new ideas and topics what we are working on. What was the progress last weeks, and also what we plan. And as I said, our record is to get some visitors. Even we didn't tell anybody to join us today. But if you are around, just try to use chat and maybe let us know that you are watching. So this is already regular or irregular kind of session, and I'll try to follow the same approach. Very quick, uh, like product updates, and then we will have one deep dive session. And last time we had a visual testing, and for this time we prepare something else. We are still trying to focus on some basics. So this will be super basic, but it might be nice intro for those who never saw how Wopee.io works. So let me start with the with something what I prepared, that some tiny report. And I also noticed that we have first visitor. So hello, first visitor. We just start our secret streaming. We didn't tell anybody that we will stream, and we are here to enjoy that. So hopefully you will have fun with us. So
Okay,
let me.
so share some updates and pick the right layout and don't need to change it over time.
We will definitely change everything in a future and keep improving. But for today, let me share the report. So where do I have the report? So this should be the one. Hopefully you can see that. And actually,
Yes.
we also got some message via chat.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is watching. Uh-huh. Okay, that's Shota, our colleague. Cool.
Okay. And I
So
believe you are not starting with the first part of the
yeah. Sorry,
report.
sorry. I need to go up. I now disclose
Mm-hmm.
some secrets. So as I said, this is office hours, and we have some quick summary for the last 4 weeks or 1 month. So we shipped 79 product releases or features, and I would like to go through them together with you. I can't see you, so hopefully you are smiling on me and you are happy to
Yeah,
see
definitely.
what I am delivering. So maybe I'll do it. No, I won't do that. So, dear one visitor and also our colleague, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the chat. We are just starting to have a fun. So this is the features I would like to talk about. And actually, I can see that there is some broken layout. But what I would like to talk about is some experiment we shipped or we will ship to the production very soon, and hopefully this will turn into a proper product feature. But for now it's experiment. It's about skills and memory. I will cover that later. Then I would like to also cover test library, which is another kind of preview feature we enabling only to the friends who ask us to do that. And we have some updates about MCP, and also improved how you could manage your tests in the commander. So these are the sections. I will just go through them. Probably, maybe we will also jump between these topics because there are some interconnections, but this is what I try to prepare for today. So, any questions from you, Honza?
I'm really looking forward this. Maybe what you didn't mention is that the last section will contain as well the capabilities of our agent. So not only you as a user are able to use them, but our agent as well. So let's
Yeah,
start with the first topic.
we are learning that not only humans using the product these days, but we are also adapting to be friendly for our agent colleagues as well. So this is let me do it in this way. So this is what I plan to cover, and first, and I will very quickly just go with about these skills and agents. So what we decided to improve is how our agent is able to deal with the app and how it understand how it works. And we learned that there are multiple sources how we could improve the behavior of agent. And these days, I would say this maybe last 6 months is world is talking about the skills. So we decided that our agent will be also able to consume the skills, and that's one of the feature or one of the idea. But we build it in, I would say, very special way. We decided that the agent won't only consume, but it will also produce skills for itself and for the users to help them to identify what should be tested and how it should be done. So we start some experiments, and first skill we are building is memory, and it's already in some preview. You can try and use. I'll show during the demo how to enable that. It's disabled by default, but this should improve the stability and accuracy of the agent. So this might be pretty interesting feature. Maybe in short, it works in a way that whenever agent finish, if this feature is enabled, whenever agent finish, it always analyze all the logs and try to summarize the learning and then update its memory. And the memory is built as a dynamic skill. Super complicated maybe to explain, or my explanation is complicated, maybe it's not so complicated. And I will show you later how it works. So that's one of the feature we are shipping these days into the production. Honza?
So can it be seen like a just self improvement of the agent as a basic principle?
It is like a self-improvement, but we, or at least I personally believe there is bigger potential to use this feature, not only for the context, memory, or knowledge. We are still discussing what will be the final name of it, but you
Mm-hmm.
can use these skills also for some specific more details. For instance, you have your existing knowledge or methodology of testing, or maybe even for the test data which should be used, we can have a specific skill agent use to use. I don't know, in Czech Republic or in Slovakia we have something what we call rodné číslo. I think in English it would be security number, which needs to follow specific social social security number or something like that, and it need to follow some specific rules. So this could be also provided as a specific skill, and agent can consume and use it. So that's the feature.
Okay, let's get to it later on during the deep dive. I'd like to touch that once more. What's next?
Okay, the next one is testing library or test library as we call it. One of the feedback from the users we've got was that we generate plenty of tests. You can structure them into multiple analyses, but it is pretty tricky to organize it in a certain way. So what we also introduce in a preview is a new feature where you could use all your tests within a project and restructure or structure them into certain way as a folders and subfolders. Actually, there are no folders or anything like that, but we are grouping the all tests available in the project into some tree, and this tree is pretty flexible. And we agreed that with Hansa that I will try to demo it.
Yeah, definitely. Don't describe, just show.
Okay. So and then I will use these cards, just cross check for the later for making sure that I covered everything what I wanted. So I'm sharing my screen. No, I will share my screen soon, a different one. It's some project, but let me first find something which would be good enough. Yeah, no, this is not good enough. Let me find better one. Okay, maybe this one. Yes. So I'm sharing another tab. I'm in some demo project. And let me just quickly check. Yeah, we have two users, so I'm saying hello to the second one. I don't know who is
Mhm.
the second visitor, just to let them know this is super secret stream. We didn't tell anybody that we will do that, and we are summarizing what's happened last month and what we are planning for the future. So the feature now I would like to demo is the library. So you can see that it has the badge of experiment, and when you are setting up or preparing multiple analyses, in this case I have a few, and it's pretty messy still. I didn't prepare this because I felt like it might be nicer to see it live without too much of preparation. So I might be interested about all these tests in single view and order and structure and group them differently, not by the analysis. So what I could do is that I navigate to library, and here I could basically see all the analysis I have available. But why this view might be more interesting for you is that you might decide what columns you would like to see. And then you might say, I want to group it not based on analysis, but based on some user stories first. So I basically just group that by the user stories. And then I don't want to group it by analysis. It might be a bit stupid, but for the each and every user story, I would like to see maybe something else like, I don't know, category. So in that case, I have maybe this is better, category and then user stories, and then I have tests. So this is the way how you could group them and reorganize. And same is valid for some for some other fields. So I can add columns. For instance, this test case ID, I would like to see it in the view, so it's there. Maybe I don't like it as one of the first column, or I would like to have it as a first column. So I bring it to higher. No, I didn't. I didn't bring it. This one, yeah. So in this case, this is the first one. Then I have a status, but maybe the status I want to have at the end. So this is the way how you can easily build your own view about the data you have in your project, and then you can save the view like demo office hours, and then I can save that. And if I want to share it, I just click here, and I can easily paste it as a new view, and then and share it with my colleague so they can use the same view. I cannot demo it. I could maybe send it to the chat, Honza, and you can play with it. But that's basically it. So you can group it, you can store some views, and you can also reorganize the columns, and also you have some more complex filtering than in analysis. So that's the second or third uh, feature.
So basically, it's unified view across all the project contents, and it lets you find any test case even by its name, right?
Yeah, you can see everything in one view, and you can work with it like filtering, grouping,
Hmm.
and viewing it in your way, and you can even share
Okay,
it with
okay.
your colleagues. So
So some feedback maybe is quite appreciated because this is the
yeah,
first version of the feature, and we are counting on it in the future quite a lot because this could be the single place to manage all the test cases from one place
yeah,
and maybe for execute them from there.
yeah. It's pretty raw still, but I believe it might be already useful for some people. So this is another feature we are shipping this month or recently,
Hmm.
and then another one is MCP. We spent some weeks already or even months on the MCP, and to make this Wopee MCP component more attractive, there are multiple registries where this is now starting to pop up. But for the users, from the product point of view, what might be interesting is that we also try to improve the quality of documentation. We also brought it to one interesting tool which is called Glama, where you can run it as a instance, so you can access Wopee via URL and use this MCP as a remote server. It's something what Glama is providing. And what might be even more interesting is that along with the 7 tools we had there, we introduced the 8th one, where now your coding agent can not only prepare the test and execute them, but you can fetch also the test results. So this is one. So agent can keep working on that and using the test results and improving its own code. And we also improve the error messages we are sharing with the coding agents. So this is another feature which might be
So,
interesting.
for example, what could be some new use case of utilizing these new abilities?
One is that once you have the test, what we provide via MCP was just that you trigger the agent, and then all the results need to be, or user need to go to the commander of the UI and see the results. In these days, the AI agent you are using, either it's Claude Code or GitHub Copilot, it could fetch the results, and based on that, it can act either by adding more tests or modifying the existing tests or even improving the app under the test based on the feedback. So we are basically building this uh, for the agents. So now the testing could be covered end to end by agent like Cloud Code or any other alternative. So
So
that
the ability of accessing the results of the executed tests like kind of close the loop for the agentic approach. So you can use your agent to start testing and prepare some test cases and everything using the Wopee platform. But at the end, it's able to react on the results and fine tune something with the tests if
Mhm.
it decides to do so, or even fix the application based on the findings.
Yeah. This was the idea behind. Maybe there is one more. We also fine-tune the tools, existing tools, like we also improve that you can rerun your analysis already, which was already executed, and a few other topics. So basically, we are improving the MCP, our MCP, so it's better for the
Mhm.
other agents to be used as a testing body. So that's the MCP topic, and let me move on to the another one. Uh, would there maybe just some kind of small adjustments. One was that now some people say that we have waits, our agent wait for the some specific element to be visible or something is happening in a browser. But there were certain use cases where the sleep action or wait action was needed, and we introduced this as a special step. So now you can ask agent to wait for 5 minutes until some processing happening, or you can even use it for the other use case where you are using XY coordinates, where you don't know whether the DOM itself changed the status. So you can either visually validate whether the status changed, but if it doesn't, there was no way to explicitly wait. So now you can use this explicit wait
Yeah,
for.
by my experience, it gets agent quite uh, like not so pushy against the application itself, and because before that, without that ability to just take few minutes a rest, uh, the behavior of the agent was sometimes too much active
Mhm.
or proactive against the application still processing something, but agent was like not waiting for the as a usual user would, but trying to figure out what's
Mhm.
happening and what should be its next action and so on, and using that feature according to the application's behavior, like notifying that or noticing that there is something still ongoing, maybe, and take some time and then check again. It helped a lot to calm down the agentic behavior. And by my experience, it's much more aligned with the casual user experience with the application which is tested.
Yeah, yeah. So it can wait for certain uh, loading or something
Yeah,
what
yeah.
on on the web app. And then there are two more, I would say, pretty small changes from user point of view. One was that we improve the structure of reports agent provides. It's more like under the hood optimization, so it brings us closer, or it helps us in the future to deliver some more attractive or more efficient features. And then we also got some feedback that users would like to reorder the tests, so there is now a feature to reorder the test as well. So these are the small ones. And then the deep dive topic for today, we agreed, will be first how to start with Wopee.io, which is probably for those who are joining us, who will watch this video later once this pop up on YouTube. Then, so this is for those who never tried Wopee.io and would like to see how it works. So this is just quick demo, and we agreed with Honza that the first office hours will be a bit lighter in terms of the topics. So this is more for the beginners, and I will
Yeah,
start.
but at the end of the first achieved list of test cases, we will take a look on those automatically created skills. So what actually agent was able
Mhm.
learn by executing first test cases, which was made up.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the plan. I hope I won't forget, but you are here to help me to stay on track. So I'm sharing another screen now. Hopefully you can see that. So
Yes.
when you start your project, sorry, when you log into the our web app, what we call Commander, there is button New Project where you just paste the URL and instructions. So I am lazy to do that, so I will copy paste. And let me see if I have also this one. And this will be a bit experiment. Our demo is more verbose and we provide more instructions, but here I will put only test purchase procedure. Let's see what will happen. This is basically it. I will provide a URL and some first testing idea what I would like to test. For those you don't know this, you will see soon what is it about. It's basically simple e-commerce app. And now I just click create, and if all goes well and our colleague is not restarting the server, hopefully not, then we are getting a certain state of the project. So the new project was created. It creates also GitHub repository where everything is running. So if you are interested in details, you can connect your GitHub to this and then GitHub account to this and use it. But basically what is happening is that we are running the agent, which is taking this URL and these instructions and creating first test to collect some screenshots. So this is how it
And it
works.
runs on top of the playwright, so actually starting the real browser and operating it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll just quickly check if all goes well, and it looks yes, it started. And you can see that some interactions are happening there, and we can see actually the I can see the GitHub actions are a bit quicker. It's delayed to stream it here, but I can see that the browser was open and it login it insert the login name, which was taken from this below part. It's written there what are the potential usernames and also what is the password. Then it logs in the password, and if all goes well, yes, it's logged in. Once this is logged in, my instruction was to test the purchase process. So I expect, and I believe it will happen, it will take one product into the cart. So the next step is that it adds the product into the cart, and next one should be clicking on the cart and navigating to the let me see, to the
In
checkout
case
page.
our agent is not hungry and want to buy more.
Yeah. I guess this is my expectation is that this will be the
Mhm.
only product it will purchase. So it will continue until the end of the process, and then we will get it will, based on these screenshots, it will define some application description, some report, which will explain what is the app about based on the screenshot and HTML files. Then it will create user stories and generate first test cases.
Everything just based on the first experience with the application through the browser.
Not only it combined the screenshots, HTML, and my brilliant instructions. So
Mhm. Yeah.
this is the input as well. It uses, but this is how it works. So once
Mhm.
it's done, and I'm just
Maybe
thinking.
maybe I have a question. If your application is behind login screen, how you can handle this? Because right now the credentials are just displayed on the page we are going to test, because this is some demo application to be
Mhm.
tested. But usually you don't provide the passwords on a login screen displayed. So how you can provide these to the
There
agent?
are multiple options. If you want just quickly check or test it, you can paste it into the instructions and say this is the login name and this is the password. If you want to build it a bit more robust way, you use the environment variables. You can provide it here. And if you want to go even further and completely skip the login procedure, because some testing approaches prefer to isolate the process and don't do the authorization for each and every test case. So in that case, you can use some browser storage stored in the project, and agent can load that before it starts testing. So it basically start with the app logged in into the browser. So
So
these
you
are.
can like borrow the browser, and then the agent will use that state to start testing.
Yeah, we have somehow stored. I don't want to go into too much details. We have the
Mm-hmm.
information from the browser stored in the repository, and the agent is able to load this state of the browser before it starts testing. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want, save the state of the browser and start from there, we can do that as well.
Yeah, and it's using actually the playwright feature of this. So
Yeah. We are using Playwright
yeah.
authentication
Okay,
feature.
before we move on, we consider that this is already over that initial
Mhm.
scenario, and there is status passed. So what does it mean? That your instructions were fulfilled? Can we see the details?
Yeah, the agent decided based on the instructions that it achieves the goal. And my goal was to test the purchase
Mm-hmm.
procedure. So what it does, we can see at the end of the or the last screen taken through the execution is the thank you for your order. So I don't want to go through the all screens, but it looks like it fills in all the forms and checkout procedure and end up on this thank you for your order. Once this was done, or after this was done, it generates a status and a report. So I can click here on the report and see, hopefully, I don't know what's happening here. Why we don't have it there? Okay, the the classic refreshing maybe would work. Okay, yeah, refresh works. So maybe there was some lag, or we have maybe some bug
Mm-hmm.
behind. So you can see what happened with all the steps, how it was, what was the expected outcome, and how it was verified. And basically, based on these steps, the agent decided that the
Mm-hmm.
test is passed. So this
And
is
these expected outcomes were not actually defined. So agent made them up based on the expectation about the
based
casual
on this
procedure.
instruction and
Mhm.
URL, it delivered this kind of result.
Yeah, yeah.
But not only, this is just data collection. So it
Mhm.
tries to test the app based on the instruction, collect the screenshot and understanding, and then not understanding, it collects the data about the app, and then it transfers this into the understanding of the app, how it works. So I can see some application report. This is basically some knowledge for the agent for the future or the next steps, which is providing or suggesting the user stories, where you can see what could potentially be tested. And these user stories or user flows are then covered by tests. So at the end, it generates some set of tests I can execute. So, for instance, some login testing or verifying whether the display credential instructions are still there or always there, and so on, adding the product into the cart, and a few
I'd
more.
like to see the removing the item from the car because this actually what was not happening. So it's
Yeah, I know
below.
that it's there, but if not, you can, yeah, remove item from the cart. It's here.
Yeah, yeah.
So we
Because
can,
we didn't instruct the agent to do that. It didn't happen yet. And it just thinks that this could be useful testing scenario. So can we run it?
yeah, I'll try to run it. I will remove to, we can automatically create the steps and store it for the more robust testing or more predictive testing. For now, I will use it without any steps. So in this case, I will run it and let's see whether it will work. If not, we will need to improve the instructions. But this is something what we are trying to promise, and actually we are also selling, and sometimes it backfire because you really need to make sure that instructions are good enough, and this is built on a lot of assumptions. So I'll run it and then I'll try to explain what I meant by that. We start with simple instructions and URL. Everything from here or here was built on some set of assumptions and the screenshots. So sometimes some tests might not be correct, but this is the way how you could find out. You just run it and see, or we could read what's happening there. But
Yeah,
if
okay, so then in this case, removing the delete or clicking the delete button, uh, the described behavior in here looks quite meaningful to me.
Yeah, but there are certain assumptions like let's see whether the agent will be able to figure it out, because what agent need to do first is to log in, because all the products are behind the login. So hopefully it
Hmm.
will do that. Once you are there, you need to also add something to the cart, otherwise you can't remove it. So
Hmm.
the agent need to be intelligent enough to do that, and it looks like it follows actually it well. So it logged in, and now it will probably add something to the cart, and then it will remove it from there. So basically this looks pretty promising, and we can wait for it or not. So that's the remove from the cart.
And maybe I'd like to watch it live in here, step
Uh-huh.
by step.
So we will be here
There
for
is
it.
one more feature we discussed last time, and this was that visual validation. So if you would be satisfied that the application at these particular situations, like step by step, looks visually as you wish, you can use these screenshots as a baseline for next time comparison. As I remember from last time, we discussed that deeper, maybe.
Yeah, we discussed this in the last video, so you can, but I don't know, I can repeat that. If you are happy with this, you can just approve the step, and next time it should validate again against that. So, but
Okay,
before
clicking the removal, I'm quite curious about if it succeeded.
clicks
So
here,
sex,
it clicked there. What is happening here?
nice.
Yeah, it's clicks remove button. So, but I don't know why it does it in this way. I would try to remove it from here. It looks like it clicks on the detail and then it removes that. It's this is
So it
basically,
was removed from the card, right?
yeah,
Which
it
is
was
actually
removed
the
from the
test
card.
case about.
Okay, aha, I see. So it just okay. You see, this is the typical. I'm typical user. I'm not reading the test and expecting it will the agent will follow it. Even I'm not following it. So
Okay,
yeah.
but if you wish to have yours, like removing the product directly from the product listing, how you could made up this different test scenario easily.
So if you would like to run this, could you
I'd
repeat
like
it?
to have actually that yours scenario as well. So this one looks good, removing the product from the cart, but you want to have covered as well the situation removing the product already from the product listing page. How you would
Okay, I think
proceed?
my preferred option would be duplicating this one.
So copy paste.
Yes, if there might be other options as well, but I did this one, and then I would edit it. So this would be remove item from remove
I,
no add
yeah, I would say
and
remove
remove
item from product. Uh-huh.
add and remove add and remove item without going into cart.
Mhm.
We need to explain what we want. Sometimes that's the more difficult than actually letting the agent verify that remove button deletes the item from the no
I
do
think it's nearly
no,
fine.
go to the cart, but uh, do it
Stay on product listing, for example.
from product. Yes, let's try. I can now save it, and that's it. Now
Okay,
I can run it automatically and see if it works. Do you want to test it? But we will be here for.
let's run it and take a look for that on that skills feature if something we have
Okay,
already
okay.
self improved and learned from the previous execution.
No, we
And
don't.
this is
That's obvious, and I'll show you.
uh-huh.
I'll show you.
Yeah, you are right.
So I let it run, and now I will show you how we can use the the skills. So this is, as I said, some kind of experiment. So if you wanna turn it on, or then there are three options. One is completely off. That's the default for now. Once we will improve and gain some feedback, we will probably change the default. But I will now change it to auto update. Save. And I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure what will happen for this executed test. Probably it won't affect that. I think it won't
Mhm.
affect it because all the configuration was fetched by agent already. But for any other new tests, we should now start accumulating the skills or the yeah,
Okay, so run some to just take a look where the skill is
yeah.
stored and how does it look like.
I will use this login with one
Yeah, yeah.
which might be pretty quick. And as you noticed, I'm trying to run everything without steps. I think it's easier for maintenance because whatever change, agent adapts. But if you want to be super precise, that there are you see that the test with removal item from the cart, even on this simple test, you might have multiple scenarios how to do that. But if you don't care, you just want to test it somehow, then you let the agent run it and you get the results. But if you want to be more precise and specific, the steps might be useful. And that just maybe brings me to the idea that I'll show you how these steps could be done differently. So this is the way how you could add the steps, but if you keep the toggle on, these steps will pop up automatically after the execution, so they will be basically generated. You can do the same with this generate steps button, but it might be kind of hallucinated if without any experience from the app.
So,
So
so basically, that default enabled toggle when running test case is like the for the casual testers. They want to freeze their test case for next time running, but for the brave ones relying on AI approach, totally, you are disabling that button because it lets the more flexibility for the agent to operate the test case just based on the description and its title without any pre-described and predefined test steps.
that's my preference. We are still experimenting with that, and I would be really interested about others how they use that. But that's my preference these days. And as you might see, we are adding some
Mm-hmm.
small experiments to learn how to shape it best. And we can see this already finished. So, and we also finished the ad removal without going to the yeah. It looks like it worked well. So the
Mm-hmm.
test worked okay, and we also finished this valid credential test, and it was logged in. So it looks good. And what we wanted to show is the first version of the skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is that when I go to GitHub, and this is feature some users don't are not interested to use, but I can see that there were certain commits, and one was just now.
Will you share that tab?
Okay, sorry. So I will go back. Actually, I forgot that I'm sharing just one tab. Share this tab. So when I click on the GitHub, it will navigate you here, and you can see that there is some commit. You can see the commit history. This project was created just 18 minutes ago, and this was the create Wopee skills login flow. So there is a first skill with login flow where the agent is trying to explain how it works with all the details and everything. So during the test execution, we are trying to gain all the knowledge about the app,
Can you open the file in that for human view?
like
Yeah.
this. Hopefully,
Yes,
this is
for
the hint.
example, yeah.
Okay, and I never use this feature actually. Okay, I learned something new. So this is for the humans, and I have the special tab. So this is the structure, and it start collecting some details about the app, like what are the locators, what are the reliable steps already, and some notes, and some selectors and so on. So whenever you run it, you gain the knowledge. And I think we don't have it proven yet, as it is new feature. I think you need to stop building this knowledge after certain time. So maybe when you run 3, 5 times your test, you don't want to update these files because they are pretty stable, and you will keep it as a knowledge for your agent to execute that. And once you find that this is not good enough, you can step into and manually change it or let the agent rerun it, so the agent will be able to maintain its skills. And I don't want to call it skills, even we have currently we call it skills, but probably we will find a better name for it and change it. It technically use the skills for that, but this will be probably a bit changed in the future to not confuse users, and also open this functionality to bring your own rules, which will be more static, and like agents will not touch it. So it should live along with the dynamic one. So that's it. I would stop here. I don't know whether we
Hmm.
want to go deeper. I think we covered the basics and create a project. We run the analysis and we review the results, and we covered also a bit of skills. What do you think, Hansa?
Yeah, I'm very satisfied with today's session.
Good, good. So, say hello to our visitors, and maybe we are done for today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm looking for the next one.
good. Me too. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah,
Ciao.
thank you too.